when I talk to Grime, so now let's go to my, it's compiling, sorry, because I changed that. When I go to talk to Grime and I'm in my dialogue system, and I'm in my dialogue service, because I have a dialogue service, which is, this is a plain service. This is not a dynamic service. But when I get the handle to trigger this quest, I can get the name of the quest, the handle of the quest, and then say, hey, quest service, start this quest. Yeah, it's super useful. Super useful. So I can do things like this. So this is me using the service locator pattern to look up my quest service, get my quest service that has been registered, that has already been initialized with all my quests, and I can say, hey, start the quest. And then it starts the quest. So this is the service locator pattern in use. And the two systems don't have to even be aware of each other, right? Well, they do, but like, if I were to be working on dialogue in an isolated scene, it's already like pulling in the things I need to do automatically. This was I was trying to open this like a long time ago. That project, I wanted to show people stuff. I don't even know if the people are still here for that. So I feel like I wasn't super clear. So if you guys have more questions, ask away, because this is Friday nights are my office hours. So if you want to come in and ask game dev questions, or you're stuck on a topic, that's Unity, that's coding, I'll do my best. I'm not an expert. In fact, I have my disclaimer. I am not claiming to be an expert. When I do something or explain something, that's just one way of approaching the solution. So this is my way of doing this. I don't even think this is like the best way to do it. I'm sure this is more. I've put this together from various pieces of like tutorials I've seen and code that I've poured through. But I recommend it. I recommend looking at this pattern, especially if you're using singletons and you're like, I wish singletons would like do this. Like, I guarantee you that this part that you're talking about is like working like a service. But you do have to be careful, right? Because I found like with singletons, when I was using them, I made everything a singleton. It's like everything became a singleton. Oh, I need this. I can make that a singleton. And you know, it becomes like that. I fall into the same trap with this, where it's like, I need to be able to do X, Y, Z. I'll just make a service. And maybe it doesn't make sense to make a service. Like, it's like not every, you have a hammer, so everything looks like a nail type of problem. I think singletons have their place, so I'm not knocking singletons. However, I feel like this is the best way to do this. And we should have colors. I like to organize my using statements a certain way. Sorry for my OCD. Okay. So, service locator. Anyone have questions about service locator? I'm here to answer questions. Friday nights. Office hours. Every Friday night. Otherwise, I'm working on my game. You're more than welcome to hang out and ask questions, of course, at any time. But Friday hours, Friday night, I like to, I just started doing this today. I had this idea today. Okay, no questions. Going back. So we were combining object manipulator. We were actually thinking about getting rid of our placement service. So All right. So I think we should be able to pick up and drop and everything should still work. Like we refactored. Again, when you refactor, the changes you refactor should make the functionality work the same way. Okay, so we broke this. So we need to fix that because it should be snapping to the ground. Okay, this is all broken. Okay. But we can pick up and drop, and then we can what do we want to explore? Oops. Okay, that all still works. Okay. Okay, that's good. So now check placeable should be running. So this should all be running. So actually let's rename this to placeable utils. And this grid snapping enabled, we're going to move that's fine to leave it in the utils. I guess then we should keep this placeable service for now. Oh, we probably didn't set the player. If I go to here, yes, we didn't set. Interaction layer should actually be not object, but it should be level and default. That's why it wasn't snapping. Errors. There we go. Now it's snapping. Okay, that's what it was wrong. Okay. So. Okay. How does hold object get? Right. Because I interact with something and I'm passing the thing that's being interacted by. So like if I interact with the box, I'm passing myself and saying, hey, I'm interacting with you. From there I get the object manipulator and I say hold me, basically. Okay. That's how I'm triggering this. And then how am I triggering? Yes, the interaction. Okay. This is good. Because now that my object, I can decouple this. Because now that this is a go back to check for hover. Okay, so we can decouple this because before the interaction handler needed to know that I was holding something. So we can actually decouple this. However, it would be nice to turn this off. Because we don't want to check for an interaction if we're holding something. I have to think of how I want to do that. I guess I can leave them coupled. For now. And then I could just say here, if it's not ideal, but I ideally would like to turn off the interaction handler when you're holding something, the interaction controller. And then, but either way, I think one of these things is either going to have to send an event. Oh. Is an object held? Object released. But it still needs to have a reference to it. So I think this is fine for right now. Okay. But now the objects, but now the interaction handler isn't saying, oh, I'm holding an object, drop it. So we did break that at least, which is better. Because they're being called after one after another. So we can fix that by saying run the object manipulator first. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So now that's not what I want. Input. Building input handler. Let's rename this. Placeable input handler. I guess this is fine. Okay, so we call placeable service place object. That's basically our way of doing this. The object manipulator is registered with the placeable service. So it calls place object on the object manipulator. Object manipulator places it. So it should also at this point release. So we should say holdable. So we say first of all, we should do this. We should do this. Current placeable's null. And basically, we want to do all this. Except for the throw. So we're going to do this, this. And actually we're going to destroy the game object. So we don't even have to unparent it. I don't need to, like, what does construction kit do on release? I don't need to do this. Let's just delete this. Actually, you know what? Just in case we decide to pool these things, let's just leave that in there for cleanup. Nope. That failed because it was red. Yeah, okay, so if it's red, it still disappears. So we have to make sure that we can't place that. Then we can still place this, then we can build it. And then we'll fix that in a second. Let's fix that real quick. So props. Just full treasure chest. Objects. I thought I used to have. Oh, right. I think what I need is I need an offset. So I need to say serialized field, private vector 3, hold offset. Public hold offset. And then when we pick up the item, we're going to parent it to there plus the offset. So when we call hold object, we're going to set the location to 0 plus held. Actually, I guess we could just say set it to the held offset because it's 0, so we're not adding anything. And then let's do like 0.5. Hey Skylab, how you doing? Making progress. Making progress. We're almost done with this. Oh, that's too high. Let's see, what should it be? -3.5 maybe, -3.0, -4, -4. -0.4. And let's actually move it forward 0.1. Z X is the wrong one. So 0.1. Make that 0. But the where is the on interact? It should be set layer. I want to know why the top layer I'm going to pick this up. That's correct. This is not. And this is not. This should be FPS. So why? I thought this got children.